Hi everybody, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio here in Amarillo, and today we're talking about that we want you to quit wasting your time with exercise. Kind of crazy coming from me, right? So there's a difference between getting hot and sweaty and feeling sore and actually making differences in your body, being efficient and effective with what you're doing. So a lot of times you go into a gym, you walk around, you see people who have been on the same treadmill for the same amount of time, going the same intensity for the last year, and they haven't changed a bit. See other people have been killing it in classes. Maybe they go to 3 or 4 classes a day, and they still haven't changed the same way that some of our clients have been able to change. You can't expect the body to change whenever you don't provide the right stimulus for it. So if you're going to the gym to do the same old thing, or you're going to the gym to talk to your friends, or to sit on the machines and read your ebooks or whatever it may be, you may just be wasting your time and your money. So while the gyms don't charge that much to rent their machines typically, and you can go to $10 gyms and things like that, you're still wasting money, and time is something that if you waste it, you can't ever get it back. So if you're truly ready to make changes in your body, you want to lose weight, you want to build muscle tone, you want to reshape your body, have your clothes fit different, have everybody notice, and just be able to live in your body well, then it's time to make some changes to the exercises that you're doing. So I've got 4 great tips today on what you can do to kind of change up what you're doing to make it more beneficial to you. So a time waster would be something like your crunches, where you're isolating the abs, laying on the floor, only doing crunches, trying to get that 6-pack. The time gain, where you can actually reach your results faster, is something like your standing core work, where you're working the entire core, front, back, and sides. But the biggest part of that is your nutrition. If you're not eating well, we all know that abs remain in the kitchen, and if you're not eating well, you're not ever going to get that stomach to look the way that you want it to. So that's where we want to start, is in the kitchen, eating well, and then providing our body with multiple opportunities during our workout to get that core to react and tighten and tone, rather than just doing crunches on the floor. So if you walk in and you see that guy laying down on the floor doing 100, 200 crunches, you might walk over and mention to him that he's wasting his time. So we want to be sure and change it up a little bit. So what would be a standing core exercise? Well, we could do what's called a kettlebell windmill. I'm going to show you with a dumbbell today, but we would stand with the feet out wide, toes turned out, and we place this weight up above the head. We take this other hand straight down the leg, and we're going to reach down towards the floor, come right back up. So that would be an example of basically anything where we've got a load that the core is having to hold us for. Remember, we've talked before in other videos how the core is not just your abdominals. So your abdominals are one part of the core, but your core actually wraps all the way around, involves everything in the torso without the arms, legs, or head. So tip number 2 is making sure that we don't waste our time with isolation exercises whenever we're looking to burn fat. So whenever we go in the gym and we're hitting those machines and we're just doing the arm curl machine, or we're just doing the press down machine, we want to make sure that instead we gain time by doing multi-joint, multifunction exercises. Things like a squat with an arm curl to a shoulder press, or even your chest press, where you've got elbow and shoulder working together. So the more joints you use, the more calories you're going to burn, the better body transformation you're going to experience. So we want to make sure that we've got all of that in play, okay? So the next time waster is something that a lot of people do, and that's where they take way too long of breaks. So their breaks start to stretch out. Maybe they start out with a heavier set and they say, okay, well, I'm going to take 30 seconds here, and by the end of it, they've taken 2.5 minutes of a break before they get back to that next set. It makes you feel rested. Sure, you feel stronger that you can lift that weight again, but the whole point of muscle tone is to give the muscle that chance to fatigue, to really go to a point of failure so that the body can move forward. So we want to make sure that instead of taking too long of breaks, that rather we start to shorten those breaks. Perhaps we do an interval type training, or even supersets. So intervals would be where we go perhaps either 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, or it could be where we do a strength training exercise, a cardio training exercise, and alternate through. A superset would be where we work opposing muscle groups, so maybe a chest press followed by a row, and doing those back to back without a break. So kind of working through taking out the breaks, really minimizing the breaks if you are taking them, so that you can keep that heart rate elevated, keep the body working, and work those muscles to closer to failure. On the 4th one, our time waster is really that low intensity, long endurance cardio. So not saying this to upset any runners out there or anything like that, but a lot of people run and they don't lose the weight that they want to lose, or a lot of people run and they don't change their body the way that they want to. And a lot of that comes from the fact that Long endurance cardio is not helping you to burn fat, but rather typically helping you to burn muscle. So you're actually losing muscle mass and storing fat during that process. The lower intensity, it's not going to do much for you. So the walking is great. Go out and walk every day, but that should not be considered your only form of exercise for that day. We've got to do something that's elevating the heart rate. Now, if you're taking a rest day, walking's great, okay? But if you're actually trying to get that workout, that's what we're going to focus on. I'm going to get that heart rate up. We want to work the muscles. We want to make sure that we're doing something more beneficial than just that low intensity, long endurance. So what would be better? Sprint training is one of my favorite things. And whenever I say that, people get really scared because they think they're going to have to go out running. You can do sprint training on anything. You can do it on a machine. You can do it walking and running. You can do it in the pool, wherever you happen to be at. It's a matter of that interval idea again, going slow for a little while, speeding up for a little while. Only in this case, we might go slow for about 3 minutes, and then we'd speed it up for like 10 to 15 seconds. So you're giving an all-out 110% energy push during that little sprint, and then you go back down to that rest phase. That rest phase should still be the point where you can talk, but you can't sing. If you can sing, you're going way too slow. So if you start putting those 4 steps into play, you're going to quit wasting your time with exercise, and you're going to start seeing results with your body. So hope that gave you some great ideas for today. Look forward to talking to you soon.